miracles, you can't cast your spells, and you're running mana light too. So I'm not going to run out to build it, but it's much better now than it's been. So, guys, we're into round 4 of tonight's Wednesday night Legacy event. Got 12 players and 4 rounds of Swiss. No cut to top 8. And we're already into the action. On the left, it's stream regular Alec Myers, who's piloting blue-white miracles with a splash of red for some sideboard cards. And his opponent is Scotty Wright, who's playing Natural Order Elves. So this is a matchup that I think favors miracles in a vacuum. But Scotty does have some draws, and more importantly, some cards that, if uncountered, just win him the game outright.
In fact, he does have cards that say uncounterable on them that are very important in this matchup.
He has Abrupt Decays out of the board.
Yes.
He does have Abrupt Decays out of the board, which say destroy target counterbalance. Should read salvage target game.
Yes.
But as someone who... the last time I played competitive Legacy at the Grand Prix trial, I was playing this exact matchup as the Miracles pilot and established turn 2 countertop and still lost to a Natural Order because it's tricky because you want to cut counter spells because things like Spell Pierce are mostly dead, barring like a turn 1 or turn 2 glimpse or turn 2 turn 3 glimpse. But Natural Order is still like just an easy out to win a game. Especially in sideboard games where you can get access to something like Progenitus, which is just a 2-turn clock.
So we got a double Heritage Road here.
Float 3, cast a Wirewood Symbiote.
Alec must be holding swords in his hand. If he's going to use it, there's your target.
Once Wirewood Symbiote is out, you only have one target.
Right.
Of course, Alec could fetch end of turn, brainstorm, put Terminus on top, wreck. We're going to bounce and untap our Death right here. Nope, just pass back. Miracle Mystic Gate. Why am I playing a Mystic? Why is Alec playing a Mystic Gate in this deck? Because he's borrowing it from me, and because Joe Lawson plays a Mystic deck.
It gets around Chuck.
He gets around. That's really the most important.
Yes.
He used to play Glacial Fortress, but this is better because you're casting. It casts a turn 2 countertop with the planes.
EOT.
Crop rotation.
This is going to bait out the Spell Pierce that we know Alec has.
If he gets Spell Pierced, he's got a counter spell.
He has to have something.
He has the card counter spell. If he's fetching for Spell Pierce, it's so good because he's Stone Rain him. Because you have to sack the land as part of the casting cost, and he's got counter spell, like the actual card counter spell up. So if Scotty goes for something comparably all in here.
Yeah, I guess that's why you want to use the fetch instead of just wasting the mana on the Mystic Gate.
Yeah. So this glimpse is just going to get counterspelled here. Because even if it just cycles at this point, you're just trying to hose Scotty as much as you can.
The fetch land in the Miracles deck are very important.
Oh, absolutely, because your Brainstorm deck.
Brainstorm in your top deck.
Mm-hmm.
Get it, top deck. Well, they don't know the dice. Oh yeah, you can get a turn 1 planes into turn 2 counterbalance with Mystic Gate.
Yeah, that's what I said. The chat also said it. So we're just attacking here. Yeah, you run 4 islands and 2 planes. That's another perk of this deck, is that it's Verdict here. Nope. Josh the Mindscraper.
Straight into Fate Sealing.
Well, you Fate Seal here because he can't attack to kill it, even if he fetches up a Dryad Arbor. It still only takes it down to 1, so you at least get some value off of it. If you had a Terminus in his hand, you'd probably Brainstorm to put it back, so I imagine...
But that's got to be the worst, because he had the fetch land right there, right? He Fate Sealing, keep it on top, and he just fetches.
Yeah.
He was probably going to fetch anyway to activate the Death Right.
Yeah, I didn't see that he had the fetch land. Yeah, that's probably the wrong play. If you want to... I can understand wanting to Fate Seal there, but you probably Fate Seal yourself in that spot. But I think that's just an issue with just unfamiliarity with cards. Alec just doesn't play Jace a lot, so...
Right.
I can provide the decks, but I can't provide months, if not years, of training.
Just write out a strategy guide.
Yes. Here's your. Yes, like an old Nintendo Power.
Yes.
Like, here's Nintendo Power music miracles. Level 1.
Or like the big yellow books. How to Jace for Dummies.
If Bowser plays a Jace. The old Miracles deck used to play a copy of Banishing Stroke. Do you remember it? It's basically like a Vindicate.
The 6 mana put a artifact, enchantment, or creature on the bottom of its owner's library?
Yes.
I know what that card does. Voidict. Now we'll Fate Seal you.
So we're going to eat in response, put Alec down to 11.
And we're bouncing the Heritage Druid. Or not the Heritage Druid, the Heritage Druid.
Scotty realized that Dryad Orber dies. Yep. So we bounced the Heritage Druid.
Yep.
We hadn't been updating our life totals there, I guess.
So Scotty got in double stun raid this game.
So we just, now you start Fate Sealing. Now Alec looks like a genius. Because you're just trying to keep combo off the top of.
Obviously, Alec left a Fenhorn Elves on top because you could hear Scotty go, Fenhorn Elves.
I mean, Scotty's still going to have he's still going to Alec's not going to be able to Jace him out of this game. Like, there's an argument for brainstorming last turn because he's going to have enough 1/1 guys that he can keep Jace honest. You know what I mean?
Huh?
So he has a Terminus in his hand.
Swords.
It's very interesting here. He has a Terminus in his hand. You think he would just brainstorm and then set up the Terminus next turn?
The play here might be, okay, you know he has the Fenhorn Elves in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He has the Heritage Druid. The Heritage Druid would be the only non-summoning sick card. So, with 2 lands, you can play Fenhorn Elves plus 1 other creature, tap to make 3 mana, do whatever other play you want, and then set up a sweeper.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the line that Alec's going to go for.
That would also work.
Also,
he's also
your Jace is going to net loyalty here.
Alec also the 3 remaining cards in his hand are Counterbalance, Force of Will, and Terminus. And interesting, Alec choosing not to play the Counterbalance because he wants to have the blue card to pitch to force up. Scotty just attacking Alec here. We draw an island. Oh no, he had an always brainstorming here. Island, Spell Pierce. So you put back a land and the Terminus. But Scotty's going to be able to attack him down to 5. You know, if he draws a natural order, if he draws natural order, he's fine because he's got the Force of Will. I think Alec's fine here, but he is.
Alec's activated Jace 3 times. I think he's been double stun in the elf stack.
Oh no! Does he have another blue card? Yeah, he drew the Spell Pierce, so the counterbalance is fine. We know there's just 6 on top. Terminus coming up. So Island, blue card, Force of Will in Alec's hand, so he's basically got this game. We're going to attack into Jace here. What did we draw? Something live? Natural order. Remember your trigger. Yeah, you're just going to have to force. You're just going to have to force.
He knows.
Yeah, Scotty's reminding him, but there's no point in revealing the Terminus. Also, not having a top here, you can't just let this resolve and then Terminus.
Spell Pierce.
Yep, so Scotty only had 1. Alec was trying to figure out how much...
Alec flipping the upside down.
Alec trying to figure out how much mana Scotty had, and was... Scotty only had 1 mana left, so the Spell Pierce was good enough, so you can save your Force of Will to try and draw a blue card.
And that's game.
No, he's got 2 more turns, but it's game. Well, Scotty has no hand, so it is game.
Right.
You don't even get to play it out for no good reason. So as expected, the Miracles deck probably a slight favorite. Well, not a slight favorite, a huge favorite in this matchup, I would think. Sideboard games, it's interesting. So Scotty's going to bring in Thought Seizing Cabal Therapy, I would think.
It's going to bring in the Abrupt Case for sure.
Going to bring in the Abrupt Case for sure. And the problem with this is that we're bringing in 7 non-aggressive cards.
I don't think they bring in Discard
I would, but it's debatable. You're perfectly right. Let's talk about what Alec's bringing. Alec's bringing in the fourth copy of Terminus. He's bringing in the Path to Exile. He's probably bringing the Detention Sphere. I bring the Detention Sphere regardless because it's better than a random, control card. I always sideboard out one Entreat the Angels. It plays 2 in the main deck. Against these aggressive decks, I always sideboard 1 out because the game's going to go long. If you win, you can win with Chase. But I think that's all he's got in this sideboard for this specific matchup.
Honestly, Evilbeard, did you just link a picture of yourself in the chat? Come on, man. Have some tact. Have some tact, Evilbeard. Alright. We go turn 1 Misty into Wirewood Symbiote. The Naked Symbiote. Some would say the best symbiote. Alec having a tough decision here. What his turn 1 play is going to be. Probably debating Sensei's top or Swords to Plowshares. Well, there's your top. Cal George, it is Symbiote, because I'm from West Virginia. Joe Blissett in the chat. Hey, Joe. You are about to witness a Miracles player who has borrowed the Miracles deck play against some combo elves here. So we go straight into a Windswept Heath. Into Savannah. Curious why the turn 1 Symbiote is in play. Must not have had a Dork or a Deathrite Shaman. Joe, for as much as I like Joe and his stream and his play, Joe's beard cannot compete with ours. That's just how it is. Elvish Visionary. Gonna cycle for Scotty. When here's a Pithing Needle. I'm going to assume that that's naming Deathrite Shaman.
It's naming Heritage Druid.
It's naming Heritage Druid. Does that work?
No. It's a mana ability.
It's a legal play. So we have Glimpse, and we're going to Spell Pierce the Glimpse. We have a special guest in the chat.
No, Joe lost it?
Yeah.
For playing his deck poorly?
Yes.
Well, Joe, write down my contact information so that I can ask you 1,000 questions about your deck. It's become my fair deck of choice.
We have the that's how I cast the needle. I'm going to move over here to where I can actually see this screen. We have a Nettle Sentinel coming down from Scotty. And I've looked away for 20 seconds and I've lost my complete train of thought on this game. Oh. So just top go from Alec, it looks like. I can see a Ranger in Scotty's hand. I don't know which variety that is. Looks like we might bash in for 3 here. Get in for the full 5. So I will update the life totals as I'm supposed to do. We're going to Swords the Nettle Sentinel before damage. So that makes my job a little bit easier. Alec going to take 3. Scotty go back up to 20. And then we see the green Senzieth pulled to the front of Scotty's hand. And I kind caught a glimpse of another symbiote. Symbiote, Elvish Visionary, a little mini combo here. We'll see if Scotty has anything else better to do with his turn. No, the needle is not on Symbiote. The needle is on Heritage Druid, which is a legal play. Also, unless there's some type of aura put on a Heritage Druid that gives it another ability, there's not going to be a lot that does. End of turn top activation. And what's that? Oh, the terminus off the top. Off the top.
Alright, I'm back.
Alright. So it looks like we fetch off Alec, dropping him down to 14. Scotty going to replay the Mystic or the Visionary that he bounced to his hand off the Symbiote. And Scotty now actually getting choked on lands here. He has all kinds of action in his hand.
Joe Lawson in the stream saying he remembers another stream where someone needled Omniscience. One time I played with you, Garrett, and you were trying to you sideboarded in Needle to Needle Dream Halls, but then realized that didn't work. So.
Yes, so I named Scouting Turn and gotcha.
And still got me. So resolving click here.
Yeah, this is an inner turn click, and we're going to take the Green Sun Zenith. Or this was a draw step. Yeah, this was a draw step.
No, that looked like a combat one. Because he just bent his...
No, pretty sure that was a draw step one, and then...
Well, how else would it have died?
Scotty just attacks in.
Oh, and he blocks?
And he blocks. So Ranger into Symbiote, or Deathray Shaman into Symbiote, it looks like.
Cool opportunity to spread.
Okay, so we've got a nice board reestablished here from Scotty, but
Josh the Mindscraper. Brainstorm. Josh the Mindscraper in this case is going to be the old 4-mana healing salve. Brainstorm.
Scotty declined to attack Jace all last
Well, last game was weird because Scotty wasn't going to win that game anyway.
Well, now he's getting advice from Jonathan on how to beat a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Jonathan, right?
You saw him pull out the phone to text.
Might be texting his girlfriend.
Pulled another Green Sun Zenith. So now we're going to think about what the options here are. Does the Miracles deck run any Snapcasters?
Well, mine does because like I was talking earlier, I don't play the Vincer simply because for our very incestuous and easy to metagame local play group, Snapcaster or targeting swords at plowshares is a better option than some of the other things. So yes, he does have 2 Snapcasters in the main deck.
So we kill the Jays, have the option to untap our Deathrite.
Mm-hmm. The chat correctly pointed out, like if you're sideboarding in the Teague in this matchup, obviously for the sweepers, pre-combat for Teague is probably the play here.
Well, he fetched the Savannah very early, so I think he did sideboard in the...
Well, I mean, it's the most important, arguably the most important card in this matchup. Obviously, he still dies with swords and stuff, but it's a must answer.
Green Sun X's 2, getting Elvish Visionary.
Oh, this is clearly just a Scotty borrowed my deck again. Is not familiar with all the plays. I also think Scotty just in general is in love with Elvish Visionary. He makes a lot of suboptimal plays with it.
It's an addicting card to play with. Like the Baleful Strix, the Elves Visionaries, once you start playing with those cards, it's hard to turn back. There's a Priest.
But like all of this is just for naught if he like untaps and finds a Terminus.
Untapping our Deathrite Shaman. Alec now reading that he has to kill this card first. So we have the option of either making a mana. Well, he's already played his land for the turn, so really we just have the option of making a mana and playing out another Ranger, it looks like. Yeah.
Like if you had gone for Teague there, that play is unplay. It's like Alec's so far behind.
Right.
Like you just started attacking him in, and it's what, like a 2-turn clock? Well, as I've said multiple times, this is what happens when you borrow decks.
Also, those go on the bottom, right?
Yeah. Bottom, not clear it. We got it. We got it, guys.
I haven't beat this guy to it.
Can I have my accent, please? Thank you.
I'll have my soda too. And there's the counterbalance. Probably going to wait to replay that top so we don't have to blow one of our fetch lands here.
Does he know what's on top here?
I don't know. If he does, he just knows the top card, or the top 2 cards.
Oh, it's the top on top.
Yeah.
And Scotty is continuing his poor play by casting into counterbalance that he knows.
Well, you make Alec remember the triggers.
True, in the Legacy GP on Saturday, I saw a guy with a Chalice at 1, and Andrew Cuneo cast Nettle Sentinel, and it resolved. Because it is a trigger you can miss.
The Chalice, the counterbalance, both trigger. There's the Volcanic. Specifically for this matchup, right?
Oh, no. No. There's only 2 red cards in 75.
Both Pyroclasms.
Yeah. Some Miracles decks in the past, I played like an Enlightened Tutor board and fetch up a Blood Moon, but that's not important here, locally. Half the decks are red anyway. So is Alec down to 1 card in hand?
Mm-hmm. Heyo.
And Scotty has a grip, but no board.
So we know what's on top.
Terminus there? I guess he can't. Well, yeah, the top was in play, so he could have floated it until, because like you're not really concerned about the.
Well, that was the 3rd Terminus.
There's 1 more. And a Supreme Verdict.
So we're green hunting for 2 here. Probably get one of those Mystics, one of those Visionaries off the bottom of the deck.
But just like seriously speaking, if he goes and gets Teague now, it's going to be so brutal. Like the only other white sideboard card is Harmonic Sliver and Questly Pride. God, he loves that. Oh. Did he forget that he had it in his deck? Yep. I bet you he just forgot he had it. Why wouldn't you get Teague here? I guess the Teague isn't actually that important at this point because he's already burned through 3 Terminus.
Right.
But it also shuts down Jace. But unfortunately, it also shuts down your green Sun Zeniths. So maybe it's right to get the Visionary here.
It can't be right. Like the only cards that Alec can play after that are a few counter spells, Vendilion Click.
If he has swords. Snapcaster Swords, like. Okay, so he's going to go for it. But I mean, it's like super fragile now.
15 minutes left.
It does the chat pointing out it does turn off Entreat. So it turns off all of Alec's win conditions that aren't Vendilion Clicks and Snapcaster Mages. He's already killed 1 Vendilion Click in combat, so.
We've gotten through 1 Swords. And I think he has another Symbiote in hand, but he could have played that one out.
So he can flip top here to take care of the Symbiote.
Yeah.
Is he just... I honestly don't know if Alec realizes he can do that.
Or maybe just forgot.
Yeah, but that's like... I can understand missing some triggers, but that's basically the only thing the deck does.
It could still be on stack.
Oh, that's true. You're exactly right, yeah. Nope, just missed it.
Caracas. Bounce the Teague.
That works too.
And then I'm assuming that this left hand on the Pile of Lands is for a verdict.
I don't think you verdict away a Nettle Sentinel. No. Not at 12 life.
So we see a force, the card counterspell, and another counterbalance. So he's got 2 2s and a 5. He can naturally counter the Teague off the counterbalance if it comes back down. I think he did leave the counterbalance on top.
We always leave a non-1 if you can.
There's glimpse.
You can... Yeah, he's flipping the top here, so Scotty's free to resolve his Teague if he wants to, but it's useless.
He could also put the Force of Will on top.
And Alex still has the hard cast Force of Will back up. Like, this is one of those games that's been over for a long time.
He put the counterspell on top.
I guess counterspell on top is probably better anyway, because you can just counter the 2 on its way down.
It was very good in this line, and then the old post-combat swing with the Nettle Sentinel after we cast our 2 green spells.
It's learning opportunities.
Float a 1. Untap the 1.
Like, there's a 1 on top. He was just gonna bone himself again.
Replay the top.
There's a top we know about.
We got Counterbalance and Force Will on top. The third card was a white border, probably a Source of Plowshares. Because you can't afford dual deck Source of Plowshares like Richie McGee over here.
Those Source of Plowshares I've owned for 20 years, so I just play them. Same way I play my old Lightning Bolts.
Yep. We can do this all day. Untap our Nettle Sentinel at least, so that's basically a shock.
Is he down to 10? I can't see the life totals.
Life totals are 10 to 19.
So at some point he's still going to find an answer to this one little Nettle Sentinel. If this Nettle Sentinel goes away and he had the opportunity to counter it and just missed his trigger off the countertop, like, that's going to be very frustrating for him when he watches this.
And I think I did see a Source of Plowshares. We see a Natural Order in Scotty's hand.
Natural Order for Teague's no good here. You can Natural Order for
Progenitus.
I'm assuming he brought it in. You have to fetch.
He's gotten rid of 3 Terminuses.
Yeah. He'll still have 2 outs to it. He's still got the 4th Terminus and Supreme Verdict.
Mm-hmm. Plus that Celestial Flare that you play.
I splash black for 1 Diabolic Edict, which is great against Elves.
So Scotty's gonna crack a fetch here. It also gives him a moment to think about things.
The chat is saying that they think Scotty has the Progenitus in his hand.
Ooh. So he needs a brainstorm here.
That's why Cabal Therapy is important.
That's why he's had a Cabal Therapy in this matchup.
It's also very good.
Target yourself, named Progenitus.
Fetch an Arbor, shorten the clock up. I'm telling you, like, Alec's still going to find some way of slowing down this beat. Did you ever get confirmation on what the Needle's naming?
You told me Hair Destroyer. That's what I've been telling everybody else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay, Natural Order the Dryad, Arbor away.
It's hard cast.
The Force of Will.
Yep, that's good too. So the last card in his hand is the white border card we don't know.
The white border card is still on top of the library, I think.
Just going to hard cast Entreat here. So that was the last card in his hand.
It must have been.
So that's a 3-turn clock.
It was, or I missed the miracle trigger.
No, there's no way he didn't. He might miss his counterbalance trigger, but there's no way he's missing the miracle.
Deathrite Shaman. Into Ranger. Well, there we go. There's 4 damage a turn. They can race. If we attack with the Angels, we lose this race.
Yeah, the chat seemed to be focusing on why Alec didn't miracle that, but I mean, it's clearly in his hand at that point. Like there was a card in his hand that we didn't know, and he couldn't have cast it.
It wasn't floating off top at any point. I think I would have seen it.
Yeah, he also couldn't have tapped out for it because he was keeping up Force of Will.
One of those people saying LOL is
Scotty's brother, Jonathan.
Jerky McGee, a.k.a. Jonathan Wright.
Does Jonathan Wright even play Magic anymore?
I don't know if he even exists.
Does he even live, bro? Alright, so win condition established here. But, I mean, again, Alec is like...
Alec's still going to lose this race.
Yeah.
Well, there are enough spells to...
there's a Snapcaster on a Deathrite, right?
Yeah, you got to source the Deathrite or the Ranger.
Now you get the Deathrite, because you can just serve in with 1 Angel every turn, and...
Well, no, if you get rid of the Deathrite, like, you can attack with both Angels, you win that race.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands right now, like, if he attacked in with both Angels, he takes 3 next turn, and then 4 off the Deathrite.
Mm-hmm.
So Scotty down to
11.
Oh yeah, he did gain life off the swords. I think that's game.
I mean, he needs to draw another natural order to even have a chance. The Snapcaster being able to block is huge. And he just passes back. Top that we knew was on top. He's going to spin it immediately.
Scotty has another Nettleson on hand, but useless at this point.
Alec going to double check his top stack there. Attack down to 3 here.
So Scotty at 3. We'll see what the top of his deck can offer him.
I mean, well, if it's natural order, like, is that even good? Natural order for Crater Hurf only attacks for 5 at this point. That's assuming it resolves.
He did bring in the Cabal Therapy. That was the draw for this turn. So with 2 1-drops in his hand.
You have to go creature, natural order, hope it resolves, and it's
Womp,
still
womp, womp.
1 on top, so Nelson is countered. That's a game, right?
Cabal Therapy U. Does this resolve? Flashback Cabal Therapy targeting you.
Show you all these progenitors. And there you go, guys. Despite missing at least 1 counterbalance trigger, and people being confused about why he did Miracle a card, which I'm pretty sure was already in his hand, Alec Myers pilots miracles to the win here.
Let me get out of your way.
Okay. We'll close this down. We'll just play this. We got at least 1 game. So, Alec Myers is your champion tonight, piloting red or blue-white miracles to an undefeated record in our Wednesday night Legacy event. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I mean, I would love to broadcast more Eternal events, but as you can see, like, there's just an issue with just, like, unfamiliar with cards. Like, a lot of times you get these plays because players don't play Legacy a lot, they're not familiar with the cards, they don't have the decks, so there's not a lot of point in broadcasting it if it's, you know, the quality of play isn't going to be worth broadcasting. But I think tonight was pretty good, and we hope to do, like, more of this in the future, but again, we are limited by, you know, the events that we have, the player base, as well as my willingness to sacrifice, like, my own Wednesday to broadcast. But
right.
This is a perfect opportunity. I think it went very well. So we're going to take a break here, and I think Garrett and I are going to play some cards, and then we will see you after the fact, I guess.
We are in South Charleston, West Virginia.